Hi, I'm Dan Burgos, President and CEO of Alpha Nova Consulting, and I want to answer a question that I get often asked by manufacturing leaders, and that is, how do we get more efficient? How do we find those things that get in the way of us being more efficient and profitable so that we can deliver, our orders sooner and have less defects, all those kinds of things. So I wanted to share this concept so that you can start seeing those things, because that's part of it, being educated and having the eye to be able to see it. Over time, as we get accustomed to our environment, we grow these blinders and we become accustomed to seeing those things that cause inefficiency. And so I want to put this in front of you so that you have the ability to discover them on your own, and you can start making improvements with your teams. So the concept is what we call, when we look at and lean at any process in any business, in our case, manufacturing, we classify any activity, any task, any process, whether it's value added or non-value added, whether that value adds value to your finished product. Okay, so I'm going to refrain from that and concentrate on non-value added. These are the things that get in the way of you actually being able to deliver the product that you produce, and we call these things waste. Why do we call them waste? Because anytime you're engaging in these activities, it's a waste of your employees' time. Okay, and you'll be able to see it as I explain it. So there's 8 of them. There's several versions. Originally, when they were developed, they started with 7, and some other versions have other numbers. But the one we use when we work with manufacturers, it's these 8, and we have an acronym for it. And it's here on the left. We call it downtime, right? Because your production is down when these things are happening. So I'll explain each one, and what I want you to do is think through these as they're happening in your operation and picture, is this happening in your operation? So the first one is defects. Defects is any time when you produce information or product that needs to be corrected or needs to be thrown away because it's no good for the form or function that it was intended for. Overproduction is the next one, is when you produce more than it's needed or faster than it's needed, meaning you're producing in excess of what's needed from your customer, internal or external. The next one is waiting. Very simple concept. Whenever you're idle, or the machine or the order is idle, just waiting there for, it could be a document, it could be for product, or it could be anything that's keeping any of those idle. The next one is neglecting talent. This is when we're not utilizing our internal talent to the best of its abilities. Meaning, if you have someone that has a higher level of ability and you're using them for a much simpler role, then you're not tapping into that talent. Another example could be when we're collaborating on making improvements and we're not utilizing the people or we're not giving participation to the people that actually partake in that process on a daily basis. They'll know things that we won't know. The next one is transportation. This is actually when we're moving things around throughout the factory. If you think about it, your customer is not going to pay you any more for the product if you have to move it around in a factory. That does not add value whatsoever. The next one is inventory. And what I'll say about this is we need inventory to run our factories. We need finished goods. We need work in process inventory. We need raw materials. But it's when we have excess inventory. So when you walk out to your factory next time, take a look around and see if you see stacks of inventory throughout your factory in excess than it's needed, you may have an excess inventory condition happening in your factory. The next one would be motion. Similar to transportation, except that it's the person doing the work moving, things like searching or sorting or walking that don't add any value. Imagine you searching for something, I can think of any or a worst case of wasting someone's time, which could easily be prevented. And then lastly, it's excess processing. This is it could be a little hard to catch because it disguises itself as value added, but really is when we're adding more value than it's actually necessary. In other words, picture you sharpening a part and it's already to spec, but you keep sharpening it. You're adding value, but it's beyond what the customer expects. So I wanted to share these because it's this simple. If you go out and stand with your team out in the factory and take notice of these, you'll be on your way to making your plant much more efficient.
If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to subscribe to receive notifications. If you have questions or want to learn more about us, visit us at alphanovaconsulting.com. I'm Dan Burgos, and thanks for watching.